Good evening, everyone. I think it's the moment that we can start. It looks like we have a total full room. The door is closed, which means that people can still come in, but I think we're pretty full tonight. So for those who do not know me, or for those who I did not have the privilege to meet you yet, my name is Simone van Schaumburg, and I'm in charge of the expat service here in this beautiful building for the Spuerkeess. So ladies and gentlemen, and dear guests, it's a real pleasure to welcome you this evening to Spuerkeess and to host this New Year's together with the American Chamber of Commerce. I think it's going to be traditionally, probably Paul, correct me, sixth time that we're doing this. And I think we are very blessed to have you here every New Year's. Tonight's gathering reflects something very special about Luxembourg. A place where cultures, nationalities, and perspectives come together naturally. In this room, we are pleased to welcome Americans, Luxembourgers, and members of the international community. And they all have chosen Luxembourg as a place to live, to work, but also to build our lives here. At Spuerkeess, we're deeply rooted in Luxembourg's history, but equally focused on its future. As a public financial institution, our role is to support people, entrepreneurs, and businesses, locally and internationally, throughout every stage of the journey. The presence of such a diverse and dynamic audience this evening is a reminder that Luxembourg's strength lies in openness, cooperation, and long-term relationships. These are the values we share with AmCham and with the wider international community. On behalf of Spuerkeess, I would like to thank you for being there tonight. We wish you a very successful year ahead, filled with collaboration, opportunities, and especially meaningful connections, as tonight. Enjoy the evening, and welcome once again in this beautiful building, historical building. I know I've seen many of you who have already been present, but tonight, once again, we have the occasion to use the beautiful historical building of the Spuerkeess. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to have to introduce before the next speaker, which will be Paul Feinberg, our CEO from the American Chamber of Commerce, and then Paul will do the follow-up later. Thank you so much for being here. See you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time that Simone has gone ahead and done this. And I think many of you know Simone. She's been hugely active and very much involved in all kinds of things in Luxembourg for quite some time. And I'm very pleased to have her introduce this event tonight. And I'm very pleased with the partnership that we have with her and with Spuerkeess. And since this is the first time she's done this, I think we ought to give her an expression of our appreciation for doing a good job. And now I get to play Master of Honor for a little while, and it'll be my pleasure to go ahead and do that. And the first thing I want to do is, in addition to thanking Spuerkeess for going ahead and letting us use this beautiful facility, which, as Simone has said, we have done 5 of these here up till now. And for us, it's becoming a little bit of a tradition. And you all have to promise me that you're going to be really good guests, because I want them to invite us to come back again next year. So I think if we work together, we can go ahead and make this work. I also have to say that I'm hugely proud of the crowd that we have gathered together. I know this is the season where we all go to lots and lots of New Year's events, but I have to say, seeing the 220 people that we have joining us tonight You all are a really powerful crowd, and I am very honored that you have joined us. And following the presentations we will have ample opportunity to do some serious networking, and I know and expect that you all will take very good advantage of that opportunity. So that's my thanks to those of you in the audience, and I also want to thank Amazon, which is sponsoring the cocktail party reception that we're having after this. Italo De Lorenzo, who I think many of you all know very well, has been kind enough to convince his colleagues that we were worthy of this support. And this is the third time that we have done that together. I have to admit, I really like traditions. It frankly makes my job a little bit easier if I can get these good traditions locked in. So Italo, please tell your colleagues as well how much we appreciate their welcome and their support. Since I'll get to do a little bit of speaking sometime, I'm not going to waste all my words at the beginning, but what I want to do is I want to then move on into the program that we're going to go ahead and do. In years past, it has been our habit to go ahead and to invite the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, two ministers, and members of the government to go ahead and join us and speak and share their programs and engage with us. And that has worked successfully well over the years. But I also gradually have been thinking, wait a second, we have a legislative branch of government in Luxembourg, and the legislative branch is the group that makes the laws. The government implements them, but they don't make them. They just get to implement the laws that the members of the Chamber of Deputies put into place. And I thought, we've been a little bit neglecting over the years, paying attention to the Chamber of Deputies. So this year I wanted to see if we could correct that. So I wrote a letter to Mr. Wiseler, who's the president of the Chamber of Deputies, and I wrote a separate letter to his wife, who is in the European Parliament in Strasbourg. And I'm not going to read the letter to you, but what I said to them is, you two are the power couple of legislature in Luxembourg, whether it be in Strasbourg or whether it be in Luxembourg itself. You guys, the two of you as a couple, are the power couple. And I invited both of them to go ahead and come tonight to go ahead and to join us. And Mrs. Wiseler wrote back and said that she would love to come, but she already had obligations in Strasbourg, in Brussels, and wouldn't be able to join us. But she thought she might be able to convince her husband to go ahead and come. And then Mr. Wiseler was kind enough to say, yes, I'm happy to come. So we are delighted for Mr. Wiseler to go ahead and be with us tonight. I think many of you know him. He is a Luxembourg of heritage and long standing. If you don't know, I need to tell you that he's a graduate of the Athénée, which is the best public school in Luxembourg. Now, I'm an advocate and a fan on behalf of St. George's and the International School and their value for all of our students. But by the same token, I tell everybody that I know, if you're smart enough, and your kid is clever enough, and your clever kid is good enough, if you can get them into the Athénée, that is the school to go to. Doesn't mean that I won't continue to love and support St. George's and the International School. I will, because they are very good for what they do. But the power school for young people in Luxembourg is the Athénée. He's a graduate of the Athénée, which puts him in a special class of people already. And on top of that, he's a graduate from the Sorbonne. He started his career as a language teacher, and then I think he did that out of his love of helping people and wanting to give something to the next generation. He is very service-oriented, which is something which I very much respect. And then at a certain time, I don't know, we haven't talked about it, but I kind of think he figured out, maybe I should do a little bit more. Maybe I need to make things happen, and decided to become active in politics. And he has, as a member of the CSV for quite a number of years, done a significant amount of service to keep Luxembourg strong, to make Luxembourg strong. And by the same token, I also respect and appreciate him that he is a friend of the value and the importance of the international community, which is you all. So having said that, I'm just going to walk away and give him the microphone. Mr. Wiesler.